Welcome to Love From Your Lads podcast with your fabulous hosts, Michael Lyon and Christian Newman. Strap in for the ride of your life. We will leave no stone unturned with topics ranging from hair transplants, thrupples, cheating and botox. Stay tuned. Love From Your Lads are keeping you up to date with all the latest.
So I have a son with two lovely ladies.
Do I need to ask people before I take videos and photos and upload it to 35,000 people? I think what attracted us, because I'm talking about my husband and myself and you, because we are a thruple.
So is a massage with a happy ending cheating? And I think hair transplants are a good topic at the moment. Anything that keeps you feeling good, gorge, I'm on board with it.
Feeling
Botox, the hair transplant, the nanny, so you don't have to actually be a parent.
You're a bitch.
We don't need to know someone's name or have a coffee with them to be able to move to second base these days. I do love how you've just said, let's stop talking about me, and now you're launching into another story.
Gorge, shut up, bitch. Welcome to Love From Your Lads podcast with your fabulous hosts, Michael Lyon and Christian Newman. Gorge, oh my God, this has been like 2 years in the making. We've finally got here. Look at your beautiful face. Look at that. Okay, so there's so many things that we've got to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Gorge, how is your love life? How's the dating scene? I think we need to cover this in every single episode. We need a full rundown. What I'd love to hear as well is like a full-on minute-by-minute update on the recent dates. How many dates have you been on lately? And did they end?
Gorge, most of my dates last about 30 seconds. They're in, they're out, and I just see the back of them. Totally. We don't need to know someone's name or have a coffee with them to be able to move to second base these days.
Same over here, babe. 30 seconds, all that does it. Mark this into the back of me and we're done. We're out.
Yeah, but yours is more like once a month and mine is once a week.
Look, I'm not gonna deny it. It's accurate. You know, way too much.
And straight to sex. This podcast is going to be a hoot. I think no one wants to hear us talk about ourselves, even though it is our favourite subject. So...
We're pretty much a married couple, you see. This is what happens. So, Gorge, tell me about your hair transplant. Tell me the worst part of it and why I should not do it. Because, girl...
well, Gorge, I can't think of any reasons why you should not do it.
It's a bit rude.
I know.
I feel like my hair's looking quite lush at the moment.
Oh, yes.
What about the 8 hours in the operating theatre where you're face down and the floor's dirty and the surgery was pretty unhygienic? I mean, to me, that was quite a high reason not to do it.
True. But I think hair transplants are a good topic at the moment because I don't know if you've heard, Sam Smith has come out and said he had a hair transplant this week. Did you know that? Yeah.
And his name's, you can't say he, they. He's all about the
they.
Pronouns. Yeah, I'm still coming to grips with pronouns myself. It's really hard. So they have come out this week. Yeah. Didn't know that.
And said they've had a hair transplant. Yeah, just to be able to make it more of a common thing that people feel less ashamed about. So I'm all for the hair transplant. Sam Smith was a bit...
Like, we're so good at the game.
I know, I'm all about it. Anything that keeps you feeling good, gorge, I'm on board with it.
Feeling
Botox, the hair transplant, the
Same.
nanny, so you don't have to actually be a parent.
You're a bitch. Gorge, it keeps me feeling good and looking young, although... Jesus Christ, I don't know what's going on here. I do need a wee Botox top up. It's funny how people think that all the stuff's vanity. Like on Instagram, I talk about going to get Botox and some people, like the bloody Karens and Susans of the world are like, I can't believe you're so bothered about vanity. I'm like, honey, what's it got to do with you? If it makes me feel good and I'm happier, I can be more fabulous, then I'm all about it. And I don't know why people worry about what other people do. Anywho, that's a whole nother subject.
That's true, Gorge, but everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So maybe don't worry about the Karens and you just do you.
Gorge, no.
So how about we kick off with me asking you 3 questions about you?
Okay, I'm ready.
Which will really pertain back to me.
Good. That's how we like to run these sessions because it's all about us individually.
So, Gorge, what do you think is the number one thing that attracted us to one another at the beginning of time?
Gorge, there was nothing that attracted me to you. You were just really, really persistent. Like I actually couldn't shake you. Yeah, I'm sorry, babe. It was just persistence, and you really stuck. Now I can't get rid of you. Or is it the other way around now? I feel like it's kind of the other way around.
Maybe. Okay.
No,
so
honestly, I think what attracted us, because I'm talking about my husband and myself and you, because we are a thruple. Probably another courier package, I would say.
Oh, God. What have you got today? Oh, God, this could be exciting. Go and get your package. Tell us what you've got today.
This is amazing. Here we go. Oh, my God. It's from my BFF. It's from my best friend. Sending me... Gorge, please, where's my present? Nothing's arrived, honey, from you. So you're out. It's a massage certificate for a whole day of pampering at a day spa.
Oh, Gorge. Is it from Colin?
Correct. So I'm just going to let you go now. I'm going to call Colin because he's obviously way more important than you are. Right, back to me. What are you talking about?
You just put it aside.
Well, do we want to keep talking about it? I don't think we want to keep talking about it. No one wants to hear any. Well, it's a massage.
Well, I do. So is it a massage? What is it?
It's a happy ending massage. So I'm very excited about that. Remember that time in Sydney, you and I drove around Sydney trying to find a massage place where we could get a happy ending? And then we finally found one. And you were like, no, I can't do this. It's like, you've worked this up for weeks and weeks. We've finally done it. I was so prepared. Mark was like, do whatever you guys need to do. Speaking of patient, oh my God, he is too much.
Oh God.
Yeah, always. So you just don't follow through. That's the problem. This is why you don't have a husband, babes. It's because we talk about all these things and you just don't follow through. So I think next time we catch up, we need to go and have a massage with a happy ending. Also,
here I am with you.
Like, is that kind of considered cheating or what? Like, wonder what people think about that.
Yeah. So is a massage with a happy ending cheating? Well, it's interesting. Is masturbating while you've got a partner cheating?
I would say no. I don't know. God, I am the worst. I mean, it's once a month, babes. This girl, it's not bloody, what's that? Something in 40 days, 40 days and 40 nights. Anyway, he goes celibate, abstinent for 40 days and 40 nights. Great movie, and the guy's really hot. I can't remember who it is. But anyway, at the end, let's not talk about it. Well, they blow a feather around the nether regions, and they blow a load, and it's great. Anyway, this podcast has got lewd. Yeah.
Well, it hit there from the moment we started. So let's get back to the questions. The second question is, what is it that is driving you to be so, proactive in the social media space? Is it about the fame, or is it about actually making a difference?
Oh, good. It's all about.
Or is there something else, Gord?
Absolutely about the fame. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, "What will I be? Will I be famous? Will I be rich?" Well, neither of those things have happened to date. So, still trying, babes. I think it started out. I didn't really even know much about Instagram, to be honest. Mark, we were in Hawaii, and Mark goes, "Oh, why don't you set up an Instagram page?" And I was like, "Oh, why?" Like, because he was running Instagram for Edwards & Co. and he was getting influencers on board to try and grow the brand. I was like, "Oh," and he was, apparently it was a bit of a nightmare at the time. Go there. So I was like, "Oh yeah." Anyway, so he said it could just be like a journey to Frank. I was like, "That's such a good idea." But I was more thinking literally having a place to store all the photos and stuff, as opposed to amassing followers. And then, in a short period of space, it kind of grew and people were really engaged with our life, which then the next step was actually changing the way people think, educating people, helping other people see that actually being gay means that you can't not have a family, and actually that you're no different. And then I think that continued to grow as well. And then a lot of people have just started following, which has meant that, I've got sponsorships and paid campaigns and lots of free stuff. Although, in saying that, when I sort of hit the 2,000 or 3,000 mark, I was like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And then all I wanted was a free fridge, because I started following these gay guys in America and they got given a free fridge. I was like, this is insane. And I was just so obsessed with getting a free fridge. It was ridiculous. So I still don't have a free fridge. So Gorge, I haven't made it. I really haven't made it in the Instagram world. So there's plenty of work to do here, babes. But that's
so I'm quite interested in this. There's two questions that come to mind. Number one, what are some of the things that you've got from Instagram?
Oh my God. Should we answer that now? Do you want me to answer that now?
Yeah, go for it.
Babes, I think this year we got flown to Thailand business class, and we had like a 2-week holiday in the most amazing resorts in Thailand. Like, to me, because travel was my jam, That is like the best thing that we possibly could have done. Secondly, we got a massive TV from Sony. It was like $7,000 worth. They sent us a TV. I mean, every other day we get so many amazing opportunities. It's just insane. It is insane. This is even real life. But it is, babes, you know.
But it is your life and it's what you've created, which is pretty cool. Like there's a real element of abundance. However, Gorge, there's probably like a bit of a controversial piece that some may or may not agree with, and that is the way that you use Frankie to potentially, you know, promote. So there's two trains of thoughts. There's the one about education, and then there's the one about, you know, using him like he's working in a sweatshop.
Yeah. Well, Frankie's got a very healthy saving account, I must say. And I've actually just invested a whole lot of his money into Hatch Invest. Just a wee plug there, babe. #ad. So
we
yeah.
had Thailand, Sony, and now we're having Hatch. Yep.
You asked, Gorge. So yeah, I mean, this has run through my mind, and a lot of people, because actually there was a case in the US where a child grew up and they sued their parents for a whole lot of stuff when they were a child. And I think it was around social media, putting their life on social media. And I was like, wow, that's super interesting. And I actually asked this question on Instagram a while ago around what people thought. Because I had my dad's like really conservative as well. And he's like, you know, I don't think you should be sharing all of your life on Instagram, online. You know, it could be dangerous. And I was like, but I never listened to my dad because he's super, super conservative. And I guess majority of his advice in the past has never really steered me in the right direction, if I'm honest. So Dad. Love you, babes. But I think, yeah, there is an element of risk and worry. Like I actually woke up last night, bizarrely, I was telling someone about this morning, and I was like, fuck, is the door locked? What if someone sneaks into our house and steals Frankie? Like, there's some pretty crazy fuckers out there. And people know where we live, and it's not that hard to find out where we live, or anything about us, to be honest. I've tried to I've tried to reduce that. We've got security cameras, we check the doors, etc., but you just never know. And also, like, there's a whole lot of pedophiles and just absolute creeps online as well. So I guess this year I've tried to reduce photos and images of Frankie like in the bath or whatever else like that, whereas previously I'd let him run around naked and, you know, take photos with him and his cute little bum on like his toys and stuff. But yeah, there's a pretty disgusting underbelly, so I've definitely stopped sharing that side of things in case there are. I mean, I don't know who follows us. I don't sort of look into that to see who's following, so it's quite hard to know who's out there. But yeah, it is a little bit scary, and it's certainly something I've thought about and Mark and I have discussed. But I think when it does come to the benefits of sharing our life with the world and showing people to be accepting, to be kind, that actually being LGBTQI doesn't stop you from having a family. Also just helping people, like loads of people in Melbourne, actually recently with the massive lockdown, have been messaging me and being like, oh my God, thank you so much for everything you share. You're getting us through the day. You know, it's been really tough. Or people have been saying they've had really dark times, not just this year, but previously. They jump on and they watch our videos and it just brings a massive smile to their face. So I think the benefits of what we're doing and providing to people, even though, I mean, we don't have to do this, it really does help make it a really good thing to be doing. So yeah, providing that information, entertainment, love, acceptance, all of those things definitely outweigh the risks of potentially showing Frankie online and what that may potentially do to his future. Like, I actually don't think there'll be any risks when he grows up. Like, I don't think he's going to be too concerned about it when he's old enough. And now he does. He's like, no, I don't want to have a photo. Like he says, and he's like, no, Dad, no. Or if I've got a video on, he's like, no. So then I just stop. I don't do it. Sometimes when we're having a photo, I'm like, come, just one photo. So he puts a smile on, and then that's it. We're done. But he's pretty good. So yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it's good. But it makes me wonder, Gorge, you know, just for those who are watching, the controversial part comes into the benefit that you receive. So the thing I'm wondering is, while your intent is good and your message is to help others, would you do that without, you know, some of the paid sponsorships and the things that you get in return?
Well, I guess the discussion around that then is I would have to go back to work. So I'm home with Frankie. I can see him regularly. And I think the benefit of me being around to hang out with him, to take him to swimming, to put him to bed, to be with him during his years means that I can be home and I get paid for doing that. If I wasn't, I'd have to be at work and I'd see him sort of for 2 hours between 5 and 7 each night before he goes to bed. And we didn't spend all this money and spend years and years trying to have a child just to not see him and have somebody else raise him. So I think big part of that plays into this as well. This is a lifestyle, what we're doing, and I actually get paid for this. When people also say, oh, you spend a lot of time on your phone or whatever, the alternative is that I'd be at work. So I'd be spending 8 or 9 hours at work 5 days a week. So essentially it's kind of a job, but I'm doing it at home and I'm including him. I'm creating memories and yeah, basically I've got those in the archives. So I actually think the benefits of everything, as I said before, I would do it overtake for sure the struggles or the potential harm that it would take. But yeah, I think all of those things, particularly the income piece, because a lot of people do say, oh, you spend a lot of time on your phone or whatever else, i.e. you. I get that a lot from you when we're hanging out.
You do?
And my husband sometimes. He's a little less harsh nowadays after many discussions.
Yeah, and I think you get it from me because, when I'm with you, I'm not working. It's really that dedicated time to spend time with you. So the expectation return would be that you don't work either. And that we just create moments together.
Yeah, that would be great, Gorge. But unfortunately, I couldn't just go offline for 5 days and not share anything. And to be honest, as most people know, it's a snippet of our life. Like literally a minute or two here and there of us at a coffee shop laughing, out drinking, driving, at the beach. It's not constantly on. So people need to just know as well that it's just the highlights of our days. It's not 24/7, which I think, Gorge, you need to understand as well. It's a video here and there. And whether you like it or not, I will be posting it.
That's good.
That raises a good question though, because Frankie's mum, she doesn't like social media. She's gone off completely off all social media. She's quite extreme when it comes to like her views. She's really staunch on everything, vegan, the environment, social media, like whatever it is, she's really, really focused on it. So she doesn't want to be included in any social media. She doesn't want any videos or photos of her. And she specifically asked me not to include her in any of the videos, which I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. People will definitely want to see the interactions with her and Frankie, but again, it's totally her choice. But it does raise the question sometimes. I'm like, do I need to ask people before I take videos and photos and upload it to 35,000 people? Because I don't. I generally just do it. If there's people that I don't know, I won't include them unless they're in the background. I'm like, what ifs? But definitely with friends and family, what do you think? Would you like me to say, hey, Mike, I'm just going to record the session or whatever, if we're having some drinks or out? Mark often will say, look, tonight I don't want to be on Instagram, so can you just not get any videos of me? I'm like, okay, cool. Usually when we're at Mardi Gras, don't know why. So yeah, I think sometimes people will say, but then I think there's other people that wouldn't. Like some friends would just be like, but then in that stage, they kind of stay out of view. Or if I've got my phone, maybe they'll just look down or look away. So I kind of get that emotional intelligence, Gorge. But I do think it's an important one as well. I wonder how people feel about that. Like if their friends post them on their own Facebook or Instagram page. We used to go out drinking as friends, etc., and people would take 30,000 photos and put them up the next day on Facebook, and you'd be like, oh my God, at least you could untag yourself, I guess. But with this, like stories, it just goes live and then that's it. There's no going back. So that's also something I've thought about.
That's good. And what have you decided?
Just to continue doing it until people tell me not to. I mean, the other thing that, particularly with Frankie's mum, is she wants me to ask her before anything goes on. So we might be sitting out having a nice dinner, or Frankie's in the middle of doing something really funny, and I'll just pick up my phone and quickly get him in that moment, rather than Frankie doing it. I'm like, oh, hey, is it all right if I just take a video? And then everyone will be like, oh, hang on, got to get prepared. And then the moment's gone, and Frankie's stopped doing whatever was super cute or really funny or whatever. Then it's a super staged moment. It's like, oh yeah. So I think that's when you lose that authenticity, because our life isn't just us going, it's me capturing those moments of Frankie running around and being super cute, or people engaging with him or interacting. So yeah, anyway, enough about that. I think if people want to hear more about that, let us know. More than happy to talk about me and everything that I do every day. You know, I mean, it's all about me. About a year ago, 2 years ago, there's this blog in New Zealand. I don't know what it's called, but my friends.
I do love how you've just said, let's stop talking about me. And now you're launching into another story.
George, shut up, bitch. But this is the last one, well, for the next minute or two. Anyway, my friend sent me this piece, and it just had like, basically what they do is they just rip the shit out of bloggers and influencers and stuff, people online. Anyway, this particular person didn't like me, and they're like, oh, don't like this guy, you know, he's such a narcissist. I was like, oh, thank you, babes. I'm really pleased that you thought about me. You know, that actually was a massive compliment. So
yeah, because you're narcissistic, Gorge. That's what a narcissist would do.
Correct, Gorge. You've just missed the whole joke. That was my joke.
Okay, got it. And Gorge, what do you think? What's one of your favorite memories? This is my third question of you. Let's say the three of us together.
The three of us together.
I think it's important to talk about where Mark fits into this.
Who?
Mark. That's right.
Good. It's just about you and I, mate. Let's be honest. So I think probably the first outing after we borrowed your vacuum cleaner and you said that I had a nice bum as I swished down the office in my tight little pants. I think that weekend you invited us to go to the nude beach on our very first outing. So you said, oh, should we go to the beach? And we got there, and then you let us know it was a nude beach, and Mark refused to even go down the stairs to the beach. It was quite a good memory. A lot of great memories in the summer driving to beaches, because that's what we do every weekend. We just drive. Even after work, we'd drive to beaches, and you'd play the best songs. You'd always have like the gayest anthems, and you'd crank it up, and Mark and I would be like, who is this queen? And then we'd be 2 minutes later, we'd all be like, yeah. Even Mark would be singing along, having a bloody great time. I mean, I think those moments, because every time we were drunk, you were like just completely off your tits and you wouldn't remember them anyway. So those memories are gone. When you were out at a club with us, whenever you go out, you're just like Stevie Wonder, but with your eyes open and you can see what's going on. But it was quite funny, George. It's quite funny. So
when I commit to letting go, I really let go.
No, she's all go, George. Yes. Okay, so that's enough about me. My question's for you, Gorge. Oh, God. I don't really have any. Should we talk about me again?
Okay. So you've tried to get me into social media. People would know that I've given Dear Husband a bit of a crack.
Yeah,
the thing is, as you mentioned, I don't have the staying power or the interest to continue on with something like that. So as I get older, I think that it's important to spend less time off social media and more time connecting. So what I have been doing recently is deleting my apps. So I've deleted maybe an app a week for the last month, actually.
What sort of apps have you been deleting?
Like Grindr, Scruff, Tinder, all the dating ones.
So they're just
and as a result of that, I'm now starting to talk to people. So I actually asked someone out at the gym face to face the other day, believe it or not.
They would have been shocked.
Which was exciting.
What did they
They were shocked.
Were they like, just message me on Grindr, please?
There was this guy who I've been seeing at the gym quite frequently, and we smile at each other, and I was like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. So as he sat down to take a wee break, poor bastard, I went and sat down on the bench next to him, and I was like, so have we met before? Like, I was like, oh God, is this something I haven't remembered? Or is this a time that we met? And he said, no, we haven't met before.
It's we met. Good, that's a good one.
We had a wee chat.
Take notes. Have we met before, or is it time that we met? Oh, I love that line.
So we had a good chat, and I think it was just a different way of doing things. But you feel better because even if nothing comes off it, it's instant gratification because it feels more real.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with social media. And then, people may or may not know I've got a child.
Let's reverse. So it's just the social media apps that you're deleting, but not even social media. It's just the dating apps.
At the moment, yeah.
Got ya.
Yeah. I've thought about Facebook, but too much of my family life comes up on Facebook as well. So, having a son with two other people, there's things that I miss out on if I'm not on Facebook, seeing what they're up to. So I make sure I use that as a bit of a timeline,
Yeah.
which is important. But, my shift is probably more like Elise's in a way, in the sense that I want to move away from social media and more to real connections.
Yeah.
That may just be for now and change in the future, but who knows?
Yeah. Interesting. So, I mean, how are you not making real connections on social media? Is it because you're not talking to them? You're not actually meeting up with these people, you don't know them, or is it just really surface level?
Well, the thing is about, I think, social media is people will connect, but they don't necessarily connect. Like, nothing really eventuates from it. Like, I could spend 4 days talking to someone on Grindr and then nothing will ever happen. So
That's on you though. Like, that's no different to you talking to this guy at the gym and nothing ever happening. You guys just chatting and smiling at each other. I mean, you just said you've just been smiling for how many months across the gym and nothing happened until you actually took action. So it's about you, right? It's about you taking the action. So if you want to make something happen, then you need to take that next step. It's the same thing on social media.
yes and no.
Okay.
I think the thing is, at the gym, I can go and sit right next to him, whereas with social media, that space still sticks between us. So if he chooses not to engage in the social media space,
you can see on his stories where he's at, and you can quickly drive down there and just pop up and be like, "Oh, hey."
Oh, yeah, that's not stalkerish at all.
I see Bob's at the gym. I'm just going to whip on down. Oh, hey, Bob. Hey. Oh, and then next minute he's at the sushi shop downstairs. Oh, I was getting sushi too. Next minute he's at his apartment and you're just loitering around downstairs. Hey, yeah, just popping in.
Well, yeah, I think you're really defining the difference between you and I, Gorge. Your commitment well exceeds mine.
Well, look, I can teach you a thing or two, honey.
And she's worried about security. Now you can tell why. I think all of your followers should be more worried about security than you should.
Oh, yes. Well, yes, potentially. Okay, that's great. So tell us about your child then. I don't know if you want to use names or like where we go with that. It's totally up to you.
I'm not sure yet. Let's just we'll unpack it a bit. So I have a son with 2 lovely ladies who are amazing parents.
Ladies and lizards.
And he starts school next year. He turns 5 in November, which is exciting.
So I can't believe he's 5 already.
I know, it's crazy. And he is just a good little kid. And so I think our arrangement is that while the girls have full custody, we really believe that each parent plays an equal role in his life. And I contribute as much as I possibly can. So it's really like a 3-way relationship in a way that we all are.
It's evolved so much as well, because at the beginning, you were literally just the sperm donor with these ladies that you knew from work that had asked you. And it became where you would just see them on the odd occasion, maybe every second weekend kind of thing. And then it evolved into you being known as dad and now seeing him every weekend and him staying at your house and just super, super cute. Like, it's amazing how that relationship's evolved. And I think it's potentially, I don't know how you feel, but maybe in another podcast, we could talk about that relationship, that dynamic as well, the challenges that you've had to overcome as a whānau, as a family, because we know, obviously, in a similar situation with our family, we've got different people donating eggs and being surrogates, etc., what that dynamic looks like. And I'd love to actually drill into this a little bit more, because so many people are engaged in these things and they want to take the next step as well and understand what potentially they're getting themselves into. So yeah, I think we definitely put that aside for another podcast, because maybe we just need to sort of nut out what we want to talk about and what we do and don't want to say. So yeah, let's do that. I think that's exciting, but let's just take a wee step back. By the way, this podcast is only supposed to be 20 minutes. We've literally talked for almost 40 minutes, and my Zoom recording's about to expire because I'm on the free version. Live, love, laugh, Gorge. Oh, tight ass life. Don't laugh, Gorge, because you would have the free version too, let's be honest.
Gorge, of these 40 minutes, I think it's been 35 minutes of you talking about yourself.
That's the way we like it, Gorge. This is Christian's podcast featuring some guy that no one knows.
Which is why you've chosen me, because you know that I'm happy to listen to you all day long.
Well, if you're not, goodbye. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Okay, just really quickly on this whole baby making situation. because this isn't what this podcast is about. Where, as we sort of
No.
said at the beginning, we don't want to define ourselves as being gays. Actually, yeah, as being the gays, but more around being...
I don't think we want to define our market as just being gay people. It's got to be more broad and connected than that.
Yeah, great. Okay. So I remember one morning we went out for breakfast and we used to go to this cute little place down called Tiger Baker. What street's that on, or used to be on? Anyway,
oh my God.
We were sitting up at the window. There was a bench seat, a window. We were waiting for you would have had whole grain with poached eggs on toast, and that would have been it. Maybe with a side of avocado, because you got the same thing every time. Mike is really consistent. That's all I can say. Persistent and consistent. Yeah. Things don't change in Mike's life. Also, probably another reason why hard to find a husband, because I don't think you're that malleable. Today we don't have any eggs on toast. Mike's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm going somewhere else. So I think, yeah, good. We can work on this. This could be a therapy podcast session. I love it. Okay. Anyway, we're at Tiger Baker. We're having a lovely old breakfast. And then there must have been a family that walked past with kids. And I was like, I just really want to have kids. And we started the conversation about having children and whether or not it would be possible. And I was like, yeah, it's definitely going to be possible. And I actually think that planted the seed in your head. And then we started talking about it a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, like a few years later, I think we'd moved back to New Zealand. And you said, hey, I've been asked by these ladies at work whether I would want to donate sperm. And I was like, what? No, Gorge. This is my idea. Like, I'm the child, not you. Don't you try and get in here first, you bitch. Like, Anyway, there was definitely a bit of jealousy that everything had worked out and you were having a child. I was like, this is fucked. So it really put a firecracker up my ass and really put the pressure on Mark to get cracking. And finally, I managed to peer pressure Mark into it after many, many, many years of asking all of our friends and family if they would have our child, who they wouldn't. Rude. So then, yeah, that was that. Anyway, this has come back to me again, which I love.
No.
Anyway.
So, Gorge, I think what will be good at the end of today's session is for us to consider a question that we need to throw out on the back of today's topics for those that have bothered to listen for this 40 minutes so that we can get a bit of feedback.
Love it. Ladies and lesers, send us your thoughts, your questions, your suggestions on what you'd like to hear, what you want to hear from us, particularly controversial questions, any topics of conversation. We're here for it. And this is the Lads Dads podcast.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.